Hey guys, welcome. Welcome aboard if you're brand new. Welcome back if you are not, and welcome home if that sits for you. Today I just want to do a pick a card reading, our first of 2024. I just want to ask, what do you need to know right now? What messages are lying in wait for you? What do you need information on? What is the universe trying to tell you that you need to hear? I've got 3 decks. We're going to pull some oracle cards and we'll see what happens. If you like crystals, here we have a glorious quartz crystal. We've got a beautiful citrine and a lovely amethyst. So let's look at these decks and see if any of them are speaking to you. So this is the Midnight Magic deck. This is what it looks like. So how does that feel to you? Is that one speaking to you today? Maybe, perhaps. Or this beautiful quartz point. So gorgeous. Yeah, that might be yours today. What do you think? The second deck we have is the Moonlight Tarot. So, how do you feel about this one? Does this one catch your eye or your intuition today? Right? Good stuff. Good stuff. Or this beautiful citrine. How do you feel about that? Maybe. Number 3, this one is called the Spheres of Heaven. How does that sit for you? Is this one speaking to you? Maybe. You never know. Or this absolutely beautiful amethyst crystal. Love it, love it, love it. So as always, this is the place where your intuition comes in, right? Where your intuition becomes part of this reading and creates the magic. So let that deck choose you, right? Don't get too caught up in trying to pick. Don't force it. None of those things. That would be challenging. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to let you sit with these decks for a minute. I'm going to tell you a couple of things. And then we're going to pull those oracle cards. I will give you another opportunity to hone your intuition there. And then we will get into each pile and their messages. So here's the deal. Again, let the pile choose you. Don't force it. And remember, these are general readings. So not every reading is going to resonate for every person. There are messages that will come through for someone else. And some days there are messages that will come through for you. Be okay with it. Don't try to shove it into your story. If anything ever feels over triggering, feel free to click out and come back. That is absolutely okay. Make sure that you are taking care of you always when you approach the universe or any kind of universal messaging system. This is about you. So let it be about you, right? There will be timestamps down in the bottom. So if you don't want to be in this part of the reading, if you don't want to be part of choosing oracle cards or watching any of the shuffling, you absolutely can do that. That is entirely up to you. So be okay with that as well. Again, remember that today we're looking at what are your messages today, right now. This is a timeless reading, but if you are listening in the time that I'm recording this, this is right before the Capricorn new moon in January of 2024. If you're finding this at a different time, that's okay. That's absolutely okay. Whenever you find it is the right time. So I am going to let you sit with these for a moment, and then we're going to do a little bit of shuffling and oracle card choosing, and then we'll get into those readings. At any time, you can click those timestamps, though. So thanks for being here, and I'll see you wherever I see you. Hey, guys. All right. Let's do some oracle card shuffling, shall we? And remember that all we're looking for right now are some general messages. What is required? What needs to be heard? What needs to be witnessed at this point in time? What are the messages for those who will be hearing these messages? How can we best facilitate their highest and best, right? Their best progress, their most beautiful attention on their journey, right? What is the best place for them to put their attention? And what are the messages for each of these piles today? Yeah. So if you're in time with this, we're talking about that Capricorn new moon. This is a time of rededication, right? What we're doing is rededicating ourselves to our goals. And with that energy, whether or not you're listening to this at that point in time, that is what will be coming up for you. A rededication, a awareness, a reassessment, right? And a reaffirmation toward those goals, whatever your goal happens to be at this point in time, whenever this reading finds you. And we will gather all of our oracle cards and then we will move forward. So just checking in whether or not this is timeline specific for you, knowing that it's okay either way. Right. Well, we don't have anything jumping out for our collectives yet, and that's okay. We don't require all the messages for the collective. We just need to know what the universe is trying to tell us here and now, right? Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. Just looking for that next right. Yeah, I see the message, that next right. Okay, so again, we're letting these piles choose you, right? 1, 2, and 3. Feel into that. Is it the same as before, or has it shifted or changed? Either way is okay. You can listen to 1 or 2 or all of these piles. There are messages everywhere, right? I'll see you when you're reading. Hey, pile number 1. All right, those of you who have chosen the Midnight Magic deck and this beautiful, beautiful clear quartz crystal, let's see what you got here for your oracle cards, shall we? You have choose your battles. You have Neptune, visions, right? Absolutely. You have messenger. Beautiful. Proclaim, guide, announce, and counsel. And you have victory. Wow, these are lovely. So let's talk about them. Right, we're talking about, here we're talking about choosing your battles. So we're talking about where we're in defense, what we're in defense of, where we're making choices to lean in or to lean out. So the question is, when you're talking about something that you're going to commit to, right? Whether that's literally a struggle, a battle, a conflict. The question then becomes, is this warranted? Is it worth it, right? We're being asked to look at how we choose. our battles, how we choose those battles. And the question here is, how do we determine really whether or not there is value, right, behind our engagement? What is it that we're going to be required to defend? Or is it worth it, right? Do we have a cost-benefit analysis that says, yes, this is worth my time, this is worth my investment? Moving further, we have Neptune, right, which is about vision. This is about that line between intuition and imagination, right? And so sometimes when you're witnessing that line, what happens is that we kind of move into a place of overwhelm, right, where there's too much in terms of possibility. And the question here, when you're looking at that line between intuition and imagination, right, if there's too much back and forth, what happens is we become passive. We're incapable, actually, of putting ourselves into action in defense of whatever that thing may be that we're looking at defending or not. But the thing is, because Neptune is also that real aspect of how we are connected with our divinity, right? Neptune is how we witness through those moments of intuition, through those moments of imagination. The question is, right, there's no separation, right? We look at this as a battle, a struggle between, and Neptune reminds us, well, is there really a between? If we're witnessing everything in that divine vision, is there a distinction? Right, let's keep going. So the 21 card here, this messenger card, which, by the way, this is such a great deck. This is it's the Oracle of Delphi deck, and the artwork is stunning. It's just, I love it. Anyway, so this messenger card, right, this is proclaim and guide, announce and counsel. So this is how we witness that divine connection, right? How we witness ourselves as the open conduit to find those answers, leading with compassion, especially, and even most especially perhaps when it comes to something that we witness as a battle, right? The messenger card is associated with the throat chakra, right? So this is perhaps how we choose to speak to a conflict, how we choose to speak as our open channel, as opposed to feeling that we have to call in separation or call in a battle, right? So this is really showing up as that divine presence. And this 28 card here, we've got victory, right? So this is success, this is achievement. This is really, this card is like the Six of Wands. So this is about victory and achievement and succeeding. And the question here is really about whether that victory is going to be fought in the outer arena, or whether it's going to be fought in the inner arena, or in fact, and perhaps most importantly, if, right, as we spoke it, those aren't just one and the same, right? Are we distinct from the messages that we are called to channel, are called to hand off, are called to hold forth on? Well, that's a question I can't answer for you, but I could and would and do answer it for myself, perhaps, right? And if you're going to choose a battle, it would seem that the most optimal would be to choose to fight that battle, to hold space in the highest, as the highest, right? When it comes to not just the concept of is there value in this engagement, right? Is it really a battle? Is it really a struggle? Or is it simply the place where you're going to choose to offer your perspective on highest principles? Great question. Great question. So, so pile number one, I would like to say to you, wherever it is in that you're struggling right now, because clearly you are, or this would not have been your message. Whatever it is that you're struggling with, ask yourself, is this worth my time? Is this worth my energy? Is this worth my presence? Why am I choosing to show up? And am I showing up in the highest and best way that I can possibly show up? Or am I showing up just as a fighter, as a struggler here? Those are great questions, right? And so if you're choosing to hold space as your highest and best, it would seem that that would be your real place of victory here. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about your tarot here. So you've got Death, the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, the Seven of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, the Queen of Cups, and the Six of Swords, right? So whatever is being released for you, you're actually as you release this need to be in conflict, you're being handed information on how to show up as more, as better, as higher, right? And I think that switch for you is going to open a lot of doors. This might have been something that you've been transforming in your own awareness for quite a while. There may have been opportunities for you to put this into practice, and you just didn't have the capacity at that time. And so that perhaps this shift into, I'm not going to be in struggle, I'm going to be in grace, right? I'm going to show compassion. I'm going to lead with compassion. However that works for you. You've been moving perhaps a little bit hesitantly, or perhaps even striding in a very almost forceful kind of daring way, right? And the bottom line is that as we do those things, opportunities present. And so whatever that divine connection is for you, right, it's being highlighted. However you choose to show up, it's really being supported for you. And that's a beautiful thing. And I don't think you're going to have to wait very long. Once you come into that awareness, I think that it's going to shift fairly soon and quickly. You've got the Three of Pentacles here, so there might be an opportunity that you're witnessing. Three of Pentacles is usually an alliance with other people or other situations or circumstances that kind of shore up the ways that you're lacking, right? So it's about giving and receiving. It's about learning and teaching. So again, this concept of, as we release this need, something else is literally right there to take the place of whatever this idea has been, that we have to be in struggle, that we have to be honoring some kind of polarity, etc., that I have to be in this us versus them consciousness, right? Me versus you. Or even accepting of the concept that I am and you are and we are separate, right? Perhaps what you're being asked to witness is, in that place where you are witnessing that conflict or experiencing that back and forth kind of energy, what's really being shown to you is that there's no distinction at all, right? There's no distinction. That your best and most accurate kind of way to witness this is perhaps through your heart instead of your head, right? And the fact of the matter is, as we're leading with compassion, that's always the lesson that comes into shift and change for us. That where we saw a line with our 3D eyeballs, right? What we see with our third eye is that sense of there is no distinction, right? We're all unified. We're all wed together as one big energy. And again, right, we're talking about throat energy. So the way that you're going to claim it is going to shift and change the situation as well. And as you lead more with your heart, what's going to happen is that all of this is going to shift and change almost instantly. This Six of Swords reminds me again that we're looking at probably something that's facilitated. So be aware. Be aware of the people who are already in your life. Be aware of the people who are coming into your life. And be aware of the messages, right? And the messengers, because Neptune is about messages as well, right? This is our divine connection. This is how we take raw data from the universe and process it so that we can gain our guidance. And here's the deal. There's always messaging available. There's always guidance and advice for anyone who asks for it. Then you just have to pay attention. Then you just have to put it into practice, right? That's your victory. Whether that's an internal awareness that allows you to shift and create an external motion is a whole nother thing. But that's what you're looking at here. You're looking at a way to fulfill this shift, this change, right, in very real, tangible ways. Like this isn't, even though these are soul level shifts, what happens here is that they're going to shift and change your actual practical experience. You have the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands here, both of which follow the Death card. So this is something shifts and changes, and whoom, you have this 3D availability due to your awareness and choice when it comes to this divine messaging, right? And it's been planted for a very long time. It's been planted for a very long time, guys. And you're just ready now, right, to put it into motion, to allow it to be part of your experience. And that's okay. We're never ready until we're ready, right? So making this choice, whatever choice it is you're making, to shift your perspective in terms of this conflict in your life. And by conflict, I don't mean something that has to be like a fight or a thing that another person could witness. It could literally just be something that rubs you the wrong way within your brain or your heart or your soul or your experience. You know, it's just a thing that you identify as, that doesn't feel right to me. I don't understand why this keeps happening. I don't understand why I'm here in this place with this thing, right? Wherever you find that perpendicular place in your life where it's requiring you to make a choice. Ask yourself here, am I really being asked to make a choice? Do I really have to make a choice? Or can I simply create my presence at the place where these three join, at this place of conjunction, and allow myself to become all of the choices, right? Am I really losing anything if I have to make a choice? Is there really a choice to be made? Or is it simply how I shift my awareness, right? The bottom line is you have been loading this for a long time. And this answer has been waiting to reveal itself, right? And it will. But again, this is a thing you have to put into motion, right? You can't sit and ponder it for a long time because the metamorphosis is going to be so deep and so holistic, right? It's going to shift everything for you as long as you allow it, right? As long as you allow it. It will be completely seamless. It will be seamless, right? From this state to the next, and completely facilitated. And it will allow you to be in connection with, right? So yummy. All right. That feels like a complete message to me, my pile number ones. Do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button if you like this message. If it works for you, let me know how it suits. And come back and let me know how this has shifted for you. I love this message. I love this awareness. And I love what's coming in in terms of your shift, right? I feel compelled to say pay attention to the number 7 right now. You have a lot of derivatives of 7 in here, so pay attention, okay? And see how that rolls. Let me know what comes in, and just, yeah, mind your choices right now, and mind your perspective on your choices, all right? Take care, be blessed. Thanks for being here. Hey, pile number 2, welcome back. For those of you who have chosen this beautiful citrine and pile number 2, let's go ahead and have a look. Alrighty, let's get rolling here with your oracle cards, shall we? You have number 7 with move, beautiful. You have the first house with arrival. What a great movie, huh? You have number 44 with the strategist. That's counsel, project, lobby, and advise. And you have number 25 with deceit. Okay, so let's get into these. So this number 7, this move card, this is a card that is about action, right? This is essentially the Chariot card. So this is how we move forward, how we focus our attention, how we make choices in our direction, right? It's how we call in mastery. Specifically, this number 7 card is all about relationships, right? It's all about your heart space. So it's the way that you choose to move forward based on your passions, right? How you allow yourself to be inspired into action, how you invest your energy, right? So this is really about keeping your focus on where you want to go based on what is aligned with your heart, which is absolutely beautiful. Then we add to that this first house, right? So first house is the gateway, right? When it comes to things like first impressions. And the key here is this is about your perception, how you are perceived, right? Or how you're misunderstood. So sometimes a perspective, right, can shine light on something that you're not witnessing. And so if you're moving in a way, again, that we're talking about is always heart-based, sometimes we're not aware of the directions that we're going until we veer a little bit off course. And those are witnessable, right? Especially as we're talking about how others are allowed to perceive us. And the way that we address those really has a lot to do with how we continue to be in motion in the correct way, what we perceive to be the correct way, right? So you also have number 44 here. This is the strategist, right? So, I mean, I love this in line with these. This is really talking about the way that you're going to create your wisdom, the way that you're going to kind of amalgamate your knowledge and experience to create insight, to keep your motion in line, right? There's a lot of collaboration involved here. There's a lot of willingness, right? When we're talking about a strategist, we're talking about someone who has to understand a different perspective. And you know, when we're talking about this 7 card, this Chariot energy, right? This is about balancing, right? It's about balancing and being in flow as you move and adapt, and you move and adapt, and you kind of stay moving in that forward way so that you don't veer off course because you're thinking about one other thing. So again, managing those perceptions and managing the perspective of others and the input of other people really allows us to maintain this collaborative effort, especially when we're talking about relationships, right? Ourself within a relationship dynamic, which brings us to number 25, deceit, right? And this is about hidden tactics. It's about manipulation. It's about the things that happen behind the scenes, right? So this is the place where you have a caution flag, where you're witnessing the gap between self and other, as opposed to the union of self and other, right? So this is saying that you have something to be in awareness of. And the beauty of the deceit card is that this could be a self-deceit, right? Just as easily as it could be a deception from outside of yourself. So since we're talking about relationships here, and the way that we're in collaboration, so whether or not this is for you an issue of an intimate relationship that you're perhaps feeling like there's something off in this relationship, or whether you're trying to repair a relationship, or whether you're trying to work through some pattern that you have had in your previous relationships, and you're looking to shift and change that pattern because you're creating it anew in awareness of a behavior, or even a result, right? Again, talking about how we witness how we're perceived and what that allows us to do in our own journeys, how that allows us to make adjustments and adaptations in the way that we're moving, right? Right. That is really, really, really deeply about how we're going to strategize, how we're going to plan and shift and change, right? And the key here is we can only shift and change ourselves. Even if we're in collaboration or relationship, we can only ever change ourselves. The motion of that coming together is to shift and change ourselves. That's the only way it works. So wherever you're feeling this, the answer for you is who's driving, right? And where do you think you're going? Let's talk here about your tarot. So you've got the Fool, the King of Cups, the 10 of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, the 5 of Swords, the 2 of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the 6 of Cups. So I'm going to say, my pile number 2s, that you're coming off of, let's call it something that was conflicted, right? Something that was conflicted in your past, or in your very recent past. And the key here is, like, you gave all of yourself to this situation, to this circumstance, to this relationship. And I think that you got nipped in the bud. I think that something happened that was unpleasant. And for that, I'm so sorry. Pile number 2. I think that there was a conflict. I think some I'm going to say less than healthy choices were made based on what I'm seeing here. It just became too much, right? Whatever it was, it became too much. And the thing is, I believe you started off with the best of intentions. I believe that you gave everything that you were able, and I don't believe that you were met with what you expected. And the key here is, how can you shift your perspective from blaming someone else to simply saying, okay, this happened. I understand perhaps it wasn't an accurate portrayal of me or my intention, or even an accurate reflection of my intention. And obviously it was not meant to work out, right? So whatever that was for you, my apologies, because I'm sure that that was sad and uncomfortable. But here's the thing. You have to make a choice on how you're going to proceed, right? Do the work, find your place of grief, do those things, do all of the things that you need to do in order to heal yourself. And when you're ready, right, what's going to happen is that you're going to move back into that space of I'm ready to take a journey. And I know you're arguing with me right now. That's okay. You can argue. You can say, no, I'm not going to do it, Eileen. No, no, no. I'm done. I'm going to be single for life. Okay. Okay, pile number 2. If you are going to be single for life, I'm going to suggest that you might not be watching this very reading with the King of Cups and the Queen of Wands, right? And the Six of Cups completing your full circuit. So I'm just saying. Right. So however you're going to do this healing, the work that's coming in for you is to witness the place where you engaged in something that was not heart-based, right? And I'm not saying that it wasn't heart-based on your end, but there were probably some red flags that got ignored. There were probably some places where there was overt or covert manipulation that got ignored, that got overlooked, that got swept under the rug, and eventually it just got to be too much for you. I have a strong feeling that there may have been someone in your life who drew attention to this situation and said, what are you doing? And again, we may have ignored that for a while, but eventually that came in to the light, right? And allowed you to say, oh, yeah, you're right. What am I doing? Or conversely, there was a big conflict and things just fell by the wayside. The thing is, as you move through this healing process, what you're being asked to not do is to not fall into self-deception, right? Not to fall into self-blame, but not to also fall into overt other blaming, right? It doesn't matter. There's no need to assign blame. There's simply a need at this point to witness what happened as what happened and find your contributions, right? Whether or not, here's the deal, you may be absolutely, completely, angelically free of guilt in this entire situation. It may have been something that happened to you. I will ask you then to gently witness how you got into the situation. How did you begin the relationship? What drew you to that person, in order that you may heal that part of yourself? Because even if you're free of, I'm air quoting, wrongdoing in the dissolution of the situation, there's still a part of you that that opted in to the relationship. So instead of looking for blame, instead of trying to foist it away or claim it for yourself, simply say, you know what, this relationship happened. How can I move forward, right? Knowing that this has been released, been relieved, you are relieved of that burden, and you took that way out, right? You made that choice. Like, this is not helping me. This is not a healthy relationship. So claim that. Every time you think, oh, I'm so sad, claim that. Not healthy, right? Not healthy. I'm going to shift my point of view and I'm going to repeat that. This is not healthy. I have better things on the horizon. I'm going to leave that in my past, right? I don't need to deal with the conflict. I'm making the choice to not be confused about this. I see where the whole premise was flawed, right? We don't have to assign blame there. We can gently say, I didn't know better. And so I'm going to counsel myself, right, to create an insight that says, I'm gonna walk away from this completely and totally. And what happens as you make that choice is that you circle back to this beautiful energy of open slate, right? Of I'm going to trust my journey again, right? I'm going to create myself in my own perfect image again. I'm going to come back to the place where I love myself unconditionally and where I'm willing to be led by my heart, right? And then after you've done that work, pile number 2, you come back and let me know that you're not ready to try again, because I don't believe that you're finished here. even though you think you are. That's what I think. And I commend you for your bravery and your courage, pile number 2, in this journey that you're on right now to heal from this loss. Guess what? Broken relationships happen, and they all come with a lesson. The lesson is always for you, right? For you. Don't look away from that lesson. Don't be distracting yourself, and don't be blaming yourself, and don't be blaming someone else. Just be in the lesson. Just be in the lesson, right? That's what's going to allow you to move forward with no baggage, right? And a little bit more wisdom. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah. You're doing great. You've got this, pile number 2. You've got this. Keep doing it. Keep doing this work. Yeah. Well done. By the way, I just want to say this out loud. Even though it's hard to hear, you're better off without them. I know. It's okay. You're doing good. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for being here. Hit like if you feel like you like that message. Hit subscribe so you can come back and tell me how it goes. And be super blessed. I'll catch you next time. Take care. Hey, pile number 3. Those of you who chose this beautiful amethyst crystal and the Spheres of Heaven Tarot. Let's see what you got for your oracle cards. You have number 2, Spread Your Wings. Boy, isn't that beautiful? What a gorgeous card. Ooh. You have square, semi-square, quincunx. So this is tension. Interesting. Interesting. I see some similarities there, don't you? Dream Weaver. So this is emergence. Wish, visualize, conceive. Beautiful. I mean, again, I'm seeing a theme here. Indecision. Unknown and unknown. Okay, fabulous. So let's dive into these oracle cards here. So the Spread Your Wings card, right? This is about expansion and freedom. Oddly, it's about decision, right? And confinement, how we feel kind of restless or uncertain when we're in the process of making a choice, right? When we have old agreements or old relationships or old situations or circumstances that are in place that might not still be aligned with the trajectory or the place or the intention that we are holding now, right? So we're in a place that's safe, and yet it doesn't feel satisfying. It doesn't feel fulfilling. It doesn't feel contented, right? There's no peace in this card. And so this is about how we realign with our heart's desires and make new choices, how we literally spread our wings so that we can move to the next level or the next whatever it is that's coming for us. Followed by square, semi-square, and quincunx. This is tension, right? These are those situations that feel a little bit awkward, a little bit staticky, a little bit miscommunicative, right? So where we find a challenge, whether we find, here's the deal. These are the places where we are compelled into growth. So this is the no grit, no pearl kind of energy, right? Where we're pushing and being pulled, and we have to dive into the points and the poles of a situation, right? We can't avoid the whole experience. And so we have to say yes to it so that we can activate, right? Quite often I like to talk about squares as the place where we're called into, we have to manage the lesson of both poles, and so that we can get the dynamic tension activated for our movement and our use, right? So this is about how we look away from a thing because it feels staticky or challenging, or where we are is okay, this is okay, but it's not great, right? Let's keep moving. So we've got this Dreamweaver card down here, right? This is about emergence. So this is the way that you do you. Right? This is how you focus on what you're creating, what you're building, what you're dreaming, what you're creating, what you're attracting, and what you're choosing to rise above, right? This card is associated with the third eye. So this is how you see through your own nonsense, right? And how you commit to the next level, how you commit to your what's coming in for you, how you commit to being the activation of your own betterment, of your own highest and best. Now, this is all followed up with indecision. So this is the place where you're at a choice point, right? We see unknown and unknown. So this is your pivot point, right? This is, I've been in paralysis. Oh my goodness, what do? I have all these possibilities. I have all this experience. I have all of these awarenesses. I'm feeling some kind of way about it. What if, right? So the answer that I would give at this moment would be that you're being called to commit, right? You're being called to make a choice. We're going to see if the tarot supports that, because a lot of these cards are about possibility and about being, we're going to say, dissatisfied with the status quo. Like knowing you need to do a thing, but man, I just don't feel like it. I don't feel sure. I don't feel, do I really need to do all that? I mean, is it a real thing? Like do I really have to, right? Do I have to? So we'll see. Let's see what the tarot has to say. Well, you start with the Seven of Pentacles. That's a heck of a place to start, right? Patience. Do you, I see you, have the patience? Ooh, the Empress. Well, that's lovely. Let's get them all first, though. I like it. Pile number 3. I mean, I don't know how long this has been going on for you. Probably a while, based on what I'm seeing here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Wow, you are really being drawn forth, right? Drawn forward. Oh, certainly. Beautiful. Well, I mean, here's the deal. So if we talk about your outcome, pile number 3, here's what I can tell you. It's time. So let's have this conversation, right? So, so this has been going on for a while. This has been going on for a while for you. And yeah, you have all the tools you need to make this choice. I'm even going to say you have all the insight that you need to make this choice. You know what the choice is. You know what you want to do. You know where you want to go. You've literally got it all. You're in launch position. You've already drawn the bow all the way back, and you're just waiting. You're just waiting to release. And boy, I don't think you've been not doing it for so long. That what I will say is it's almost becoming a burden. Right? This is a burden. This is a stuckness. This is a thing that feels so unpleasant to you. The not shifting, the not changing, the feeling like you're stuck and paralyzed and bound, right? You already have the answers. You already have, in fact, planted the seeds. You already know that those seeds are that they're let's call it that they're already perfectly cared for. And your awareness is so deep, right? This is down to your quarks and bosons. You know that this next thing, this thing that you have visualized, this thing you have in situ in order to create this next thing, right? It's almost like I see a box, like a treasure box, and the inside of it is glowing and glowing and glowing, and it's yours, and you already know what's in there, and you're just afraid to open it, or you're just hesitant to open it, or you're just not feeling like you're ready, that you're not ready to let go of the safe place that you're in, to let go of the comfort zone that you've had for so long, right? You know that pearl is shining and radiant and beautiful and lush and opulent and ready for prime time, but you're just holding on to it because you know that it's going to facilitate a whole bunch of change. And guess what? Sometimes we are not ready for the change. I'm going to take it off your hook right now. That's okay. Up till this point, up till right now, up till you listen to this reading, erase any guilt, erase any hesitation, erase any self-blame, self-doubt, all of those things. Take it, put it over here. We're done with that. As of right now, though, pile number 3, this is your message. This is your message. It's time, right? It's time. No more, Seven of Swords is my card of self-bullshittery. So no more self-nonsense. Take it off the table. You don't get to claim that anymore. You don't get to claim, well, what if? No, you already know that this is a success. You already know it will carry you to the next level. You already know you will fly. You already know. You already know this is a great idea. You already know that there's no problem, right? It's just that your problem lies in your self-communication. You might even not trust what's coming next. Well, guess what? This is where we realign with your heart's desires and say, oh, yeah, this is what we're doing. You've got this Page of Pentacles coming in. This is a beautiful opportunity. This is brilliant. Put this into action. Bring it into the world. The world needs it. Birth it. Whatever it is. Make it happen, right? You have all the resources. You have all the resourcing. You have all of the light. You have all of the wisdom. You have all of the experience. And you know that this thing is going to feel great to you. You know it's going to feel like it belongs, where it belongs. I'm going to tell you a little secret. You have the 10 of Swords here. This holding back is untenable. You cannot hold this anymore. Right? The tension in that bowstring is about to snap. And if you don't release it soon, it's going to really hurt your hands. It's really going to hurt all of the things, right? So this is your moment. No more indecision. Pile number 3. No more. You know what? I want a timing card for you. Hold on one second. Sorry, I haven't had to pull anything extra yet, but I want to here. I feel compelled to give you a little timing card. So let's do that. Da-da-da. Yeah, this is huge. I feel like this is a linchpin for your future, for your everything is really what I want to say, for your entire expression, for your, not just your business, not just your personal life, but for everything, right? So however that works for you. We will pull until we get a sword. Sword is always a timing card, and that's what I'm looking for here for you. Okay, 5 of Swords. So 5. So your number in terms of time is 5. My fabulous pile number 3s. So you have 5 hours, minutes, days, weeks, right? But 5 is your number. So from whenever you listen to this, whatever day it is, you count 5, and that's your launch date. And don't say 5 years, because that's not true. That's too long. It's got to be less than that. So, yeah, please don't keep yourself behind your own 8 ball. Please don't keep yourself in this place of tension. Let it fly. You already know that the results are going to be amazing. You already know that what's launching is going to fly. Right? You know this, and you know that the tension is debilitating you. It's debilitating you. Trust the timing, right? Hanged Man always comes in with this beautiful perspective shift. You can sit here and say, what if it's terrible all day long? Why don't you ask yourself, what happens if it explodes? What happens if it blows up? What happens if the launch is the most amazing thing and your life is filled with gold shiny glitter for the rest of your life? Because guess what? It is. It is. Let it be. Let it be, man. Let it be. Woo! It's a big one. It's a big one, pile number 3. Please get on it. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to hit the subscribe button. Hit like if that fits. And I want you to tell me what it is you're launching, because I want to put some energy behind that for you. I'm so excited for you. It's going to be amazing. And it's going to do a whole lot of good, and not just for you, right? Anyway, you take care. You be super blessed and get busy. 5 is your answer. Take care, and I'll see you next time.